Good.
All right, people. It's your boy Chig going on Gooner Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a review, this time of the West Brom versus Arsenal game. And because of the shenanigans that went on yesterday, I had to bring someone to do this with. So I brought on Henry. You guys have seen me with him before on Arsenal Fan TV. Say hello to the people, Henry.
How you doing, everybody? Good to see you. Well, not good to see you. You know what I mean.
So let's see if we can dissect this mess yesterday. We played West Brom in a game that a lot of us weren't confident about, and there was a lot more attention on things like flying planes instead of the actual game. What do you think? Just a general overview. What do you reckon? What happened yesterday?
Yesterday has been no different than what we've been shown the last couple of weeks. Really, we're a team who's in free fall at the moment, and yesterday was just another example of that. And the next game will be another example of that. I mean, from when the first half is there, and as you mentioned, everyone's talking about planes in the sky. That is enough to tell you how dire the game is on the pitch and how dire things are on the pitch if you're talking about stuff off the pitch. And I mean, what is there to kind of? There's no positives from that game. I mean, the play was so lethargic. It was so slow. It was so laboured. It was so, people. The players don't want to be there. The manager doesn't be. It's like the fans. Even the fans don't want to be there now. It's a really, really sad state of affairs. And I don't want to make it like Wenger out or about him, but it is about him because the buck stops with him. He's the manager. So, yesterday was a shambles, and it's because of the coach. You know what I mean? He just has to leave now. He just has to say, you know what, I can't do any more and go. Not all this respect bollocks and leave at the end of the year. He needs to go now. I don't see us picking up another point until the end of the season, and that's frightening. And if that's the case, how does he get to stay on? If this was any other team, he would be gone already. I mean, even Leicester have more balls than us. Chelsea did the same thing. With Chelsea, Mourinho had just won them the league 6 months before, and they booted him out. Yeah. When was the last time Wenger did anything of note for Arsenal, and he still got a job somehow?
Do you know, it's funny you should say that, right? My girlfriend, she has no interest in football whatsoever, but supports Arsenal purely on the basis of me, right? And she asked me like a really kind of obvious, profound kind of question. And I thought to myself, this is a logical person who's not a football person, and she's asking me this question, right? She asked me, I don't understand. If I was in my job and I wasn't doing well, I wouldn't be in that job anymore. Like, why does Wenger have this apparent power over his own job? Isn't he an employee of Arsenal? And I'm like, babe, I don't know what you want me to say. What do you want me to tell you? I've been saying this for ages.
Yes.
For ages. But unfortunately, he has a job where he's comfortable. He's got people that he's practically employed. So how can they fire him? What do you think about this particular situation? Because it's such a ridiculous situation. Oh, I'll tell you soon. No, motherfucker. How about you tell us now?
Yeah.
How about that?
And as I've been following on Twitter now, that's just another step of the guy's arrogance. The idea that is, you're going to know when I let you know because I answer to nobody. And that, for me, is just one of the many things I can't take about the guy. He's got too big. I mean, he is an employee. I mean, when in any other area in the world, in any other career, do you get to employ your manager and give your manager orders? So it just sums up the ridiculousness at the club right now that this guy has so much pull. And I even put it on Twitter to find out, if Ferguson had the same pull at Man United in his day. Well, one, no one responded to me. And two, the guys who did said probably not. And even if he did, end of the day, he would have left by himself. In fact, he did leave by himself because he was like, you know what? I can't take this squad any further.
Yeah.
I've just won the league. I'm out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And look at all of what this guy won. And then this dickhead who we've got, who's done sweet fuck all for 10 years, is just holding on to the job for what? What is he holding on for? It's really, really, really a sad state of affairs. And, we can never let this get to this stage again. And I think what it was is he was living off the first 10 years that what he did and taken the club forward, which is what he did. You know what? You've done good thus far. We're just going to leave it in your hands. Yeah. And then it's gone all into his hands, and he's completely cocked it up. Because there's no coincidence that since he's taken control of everything, it's gone downhill. And it's just a big mess of a situation. Only Arsenal can this happen.
What was your thoughts ahead of the West Brom game? Like, what were you thinking in terms of, were you confident ahead of the game? Like, what were you thinking in terms of what we could possibly get out of the game? Because I stupidly predicted we'd play well and win 2-0.
No, you're mad, bro. I knew we would lose. And again, I don't like to always say this stuff because people are, oh, you're negative, or they say rubbish like John Cross, oh, we want the team to lose. What fan wants their team to lose?
Exactly. Idiot. Oh, I hated that tweet.
Yeah, I mean, fools. No, but at the end of the day, if you look at the form we're in, if you look at the manager we've got, then you know the next result. That's why I can tell you now, the next game, we're going to lose that as well.
Yeah.
There's no bouncing back. There's no, like back in the day when you beat Arsenal 10 years ago and you dreaded playing them after because you knew there was going to be a backlash. We just go further and further down. Basically, what we do over a couple of games is what we do in a game. If we concede one, we don't stop at one, we concede 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's why we're losing 2, 3, 4 in a row. Because that's what we're doing. It's just like it's a one long game. We're just going to keep conceding and we're going to keep losing. I had no confidence going up there. To be honest, we can play any team in that league and they will beat us. That's how bad we are. I hate when people say, oh, it's West Brom or it was this tackle, referee, blah, blah. But they like to avoid the cause of the problem. They like to always blame it on someone else. And that's what I hate. It's a very weak mentality in the fan base. And a very weak mentality at the club and weak mentality in the management. That's why the club can carry on like this, because everybody there is weak. Nobody likes to deal with the issues at hand, which is the stuff which is within your control, within your remit, and deal with that. They want to say, oh, it's because it rained. Oh, the referee was bad. Well, guess what? All teams have good and bad decisions against them. The entire first half of our season, we got away with daylight robbery, especially like that game against Southampton. We've got that penalty that we shouldn't really have got.
Yeah, I agree.
And that was just one example. And then obviously Koscielny's goal against Burnley, another example. And I was saying from then, we're getting by the skin of our teeth and our luck is going to run out. You know what I mean? And now the luck has run out. And that's all that's coming to show. It's not that the referees are against us or anything. We're just crap. It's as simple as that. We are rubbish.
So in terms of the starting lineup, were you happy with? I guess why I'm a bit frustrated is that, I'll be honest, I was, considering what we had available, I was reasonably happy with the team. I even tweeted out that, wow, I can't believe Wenger's actually gone with Welbeck up front and it's gone with a bit of pace and power. And I thought to myself, okay, I can get on board with this. I can get on board with the team. The team surely was good enough to beat West Brom. Surely.
Yeah, for sure. However, with this guy at the front, it doesn't matter what team we put out. And I said this the first time I called on AFTV. With this manager in charge, it does not matter what 11 we have on the pitch. And what was really good is that DT put this out on Arsenal Fan TV the other day when he goes, we're doing worse now with better players. We were actually doing better with your Denilsons, your Shamaks, and your Skelachis than we are doing now. So what does that tell you? Yeah. Your time is up.
Yeah.
That's why I said when I first came on, we could sign Messi and Neymar and Ronaldo, and we'd still finish fourth because there's only one common denominator, and that's the stupid coach. He needs to piss off now. It doesn't matter what he does.
Do you even see us making fourth this year?
No, we're not making fourth. This is what I mean. I hate when people think, we're going to bounce. There's no bouncing back. This is that season where Tottenham finish above us and they kick on. Everyone's kicking on. And when we do, bro, we're not even going to finish in the top 5. We're in free fall right now.
Yeah.
We are in free fall. Do you know what free fall means?
Yeah, I mean, my worry is our fixture run is really difficult. I didn't realize how bad our end of the season is. Like, we've still got to play United. We still got to play Tottenham. We still got to play City. I was like, how did this happen all of a sudden? I honestly, I worry for where we're actually going to finish. Like, we'll probably do a Chelsea and we'll just finish like 8th, 9th, or 10th. You never know.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. We are in free fall. We've done this before. The only difference is that normally he's got us into a place where we're first, second, or third, and we're so far ahead of the chasing back, we only end up in fourth, scraping fourth. But now that's not going to happen anymore. It's not going to work. And we're going to end up is mid-table, probably where Chelsea were. And to be honest, if that gets him out of the club, I don't care what we have to go through to get this guy out of the club. I want him out because this season was a write-off anyway. It was a write-off from the get-go. From when they didn't make any proper signings and from when he didn't bring in people in time for the Liverpool game, it was a write-off because say we were up the top of the table and we were fighting for the title genuinely and then we lost out on the title by 3 points or 6 points because he didn't want to pay the money for Mustafi and have and bring the players back because of the European Championships. It's just, for me, it's error after error after error, and it's only going to change when he goes. Again, I don't want to be unrealistic and think all the problems at Arsenal will be solved when he goes, but he is one major frigging part. And I hate when people go, oh, but it's the board. But yes, again, as DT pointed out, and which I've pointed out many a time, if you want to get to something, if you want to get to the big cheese, you need to start removing the pieces because you can't get to the big piece first.
Yeah.
Now, not many people play these intelligent games. You've got to start with the lower pieces. Or you go with or if you're trying to take something apart, you go for the foundation, you go for the legs. And right now, Wenger is the guy who's fronting everything. If you get rid of Wenger and we're still doing crap, then you know if the board is to blame. Yeah. But if things turn around, then we're going to know all along it was him. And that's why he's holding on. Because he doesn't want the next guy to come in with this team and smack it, and then it'll show him up how clueless he is.
Do you blame any of the players, though, yesterday? Like,
even if I do blame the players, yeah, which I do, who picks the players?
Yeah.
Who bought the players? You see, the only time you can't get angry with the players is if you're a coach coming into a new team, a la the new Leicester coach, or even Mourinho at Man United, when it's not your team. Then you can blame the players. But from when Wenger has had this team for 20 years, he has bought and sourced every single player. He trains every single player. It's all his fault. The buck stops with him. It's not the players. The buck stops with him. It's like when you see a bad kid on the road. It's the parents' fault because it's the parents who brought that kid into the world and brought that kid up. You don't say, oh, the kid's bad, the kid's bad. You say, no, they've had a bad upbringing. So the buck stops with Wenger. This is all Wenger's fault. He picked the players. He trains the players. If the players aren't doing their job, that means it's his fault because he's not getting the message across. And if the players can't understand his messages, and that's the problem, but then he needs to go anyway. Either way you look at it, it's his fault and he has to leave. End of. Win, lose, or draw, as Troop said, he has to go. Doesn't matter the result. He has to go. And if it was down to me, he'd be out yesterday. He'd be out yesterday. I don't understand why there's even discussions or reasoning for this guy. It's pathetic.
All right, so obviously, don't get twisted. I agree with what you're saying. But so who would your number one choice be to replace him?
My number one choice would be Simeone because I've seen what he's done at Atletico Madrid. However, listening to a lot of the guys who, for me, are more knowledgeable on this stuff, a lot of them want Allegri because they say he's tactically amazing. You know, he's taken Juventus, you know, who are already performing well, but even took him up to another level and is performing, you know, competing with the top teams in Europe. So, you know, I'd be happy with either of those guys. But honestly, as I said earlier, right now, I'd fucking take Humpty Dumpty over Wenger. I literally believe anybody could do a better job than him right now. I genuinely believe that. They could get the tea lady. Because we've got good players. They're not amazing players, but we've got okay players. But he seems to always manage to put square pegs in round holes.
Yeah.
It's not working anymore. That stuff worked back in the day when the league wasn't as competitive and he came in and, you know, he wasn't far ahead. But now all of that's changed. So first choice Simeone, second choice Allegri. The German shouts with Tuchel and Lowe. Like I said, anybody apart from this guy would do. Anyone would do. He's that bad. They just need new ideas. That's all they need.
All right. Okay, well, let's go into like the 1 to 10 ratings yesterday, because I'm not gonna, a lot of players pissed me off yesterday. A lot of players. So let's go into it. Check. What would you give him out of 1 to 10? That's before he got injured. But 1 to 10.
What did he do apart from pick the ball out of the net? And again, you know, I don't know what's happened to Peter Cech since he's come to us. You know, he's not that commanding guy. He's not that imposing guy anymore. And, you know, there was a reason he was dropped at that time for Courtois. There was a reason he was allowed to be sold to us, because if that was the Cech of the olden days, you know, Chelsea wouldn't entertain that. So,
yeah, I did feel like Jose would have blocked it at all costs. Even if it cost him his job, he would have blocked it.
Would have blocked it. Tried to pretend to make a big deal out of it, but no, man, he's not the guy he used to be. So for his contribution yesterday, he gets a 5.
And
that's me being generous.
His replacement, Ospina. I don't know what happened to him on the second goal. Wow, what a cock up that was.
I know, and I said this to one of the guys, that it just reminded me of so much of the Carling Cup final, Chesney and Koscielny.
Yeah.
Same thing. But I don't know, other than that, he's pretty solid. You know, and for the amount of cock-ups he's made, the times he's saved us, that's what he has over Cech, because I can't count on my hands how many times Cech has stopped a goal going in. But literally, Ospina this season, you know, PSG is one game, you know, Bayern Munich is one game where this guy's theatrics has stopped the scoreline being stupid. So I can forgive him for that one. And the reason, go on.
I know what I was also going to add to that is, I think one thing people got to bear in mind with Ospina, yes, he does have a dodgy clanger every now and again, but like you just said, he does more good than bad. Plus, people have to, he doesn't play in, week out. All right,
exactly.
Champions League game, but we're now out of the Champions League. He doesn't play regularly to get that rhythm. So, and keepers need rhythm just like any other outfield player.
Yeah.
So I'm prepared to. It was a horrible mistake, but I'm prepared to forgive him. So, I mean, personally, I agree with your mark for Cech, and I'd probably give Ospina, just because the mistake was so bad, a 4 out of 10.
And just to add to Ospina, the reason why I give Ospina more of an allowance, more of a blight, is because when that mistake didn't necessarily cost us the game, you know, we were poor anyway.
I agree.
But that's why it's like, if it was at Almunia back in the day against Birmingham or something, then yeah, but this was a lose-lose game anyway, so that really didn't turn the tide of the game, whereas Peter Cech sometimes is just, boy.
The mistake was more the cherry on a horrible cake that was happening. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with that.
4 and 5 is good.
Hector Bellerin.
Oh, as for Hector, bruv.
I don't know.
This is what I mean. This is purely down to bad management. You know, the kid's head has gone this whole season. It's nothing to do with injuries and whatever. His head is not there. You know, the guy, you took away his competition for the right back. So the guy knows no matter what he does, he's going to play, which has always been Wenger's problem. Can't build proper squads, can't keep multiple personalities happy. Again, weak mentality. And then obviously, all this, even before this Barca talk, Hector's not been in the races this year. The whole season, he's not been in the races. Been off the pace, sluggish, getting turned by every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Yeah, you know I mean, not there. And then, you know, talking too much as well. Thinking he's a big player, and he's not done anything. This is the problem. These little kids think they've done so much, they've done nothing. Man had 1 season under his belt. Start talking after you've done 4 or 5.
And stop modelling, for flip's sake.
Modelling, taking pictures. And that's the problem with these footballers. They don't concentrate on the football enough. They're too busy doing this other stuff. You know, I mean, so he was shocking yesterday. He gets a 3 or a 4. And the reason he gets a low rating is because we know what he's capable of.
Yes, I agree. And I agree with you. I think he could be coached. If he has that right coach that inspires him and gives him confidence, you're going to see a hell of a player in Hector. But
imagine him under Allegri, or even worse, Simeone. Imagine what Bellerin could be under Simeone.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I actually think Simeone would be brilliant for him. I think he'd be brilliant for him. Skodran Mustafi, someone I've been highly critical of all season, and I think people are now starting to see why. What do you think?
Who?
Skodran Mustafi.
Oh, this guy, as everyone said, he's been found out. He has been found out. I mean, this guy, I've never seen a guy backtracking so much and always doing that late lunge where the ball goes through his legs or under him. It's like he's just doing it for show. He's not actually doing anything.
I agree.
He's poor. He's poor. And it's one of them things, what happened between when he first signed and now? And to be honest, I have to also say, it goes back to what I said on AFTV when I said, for some reason, players, when they first come to Arsenal, they're amazing the first 6 months. Then it's like once they've been coached by Wenger for 6 months, then they become shit. And I can think of so many players where that's happened. I mean, again, Sanchez's first season, on fire, unbelievable. Even Ozil's first 6 months, breaking records. And the guy, Arshavin, that was the guy. And then after 6 months, they're shit. Same with Lucas Podolski, Cazorla. When they first came in against the away game against Liverpool a couple of years back. So Mustafi's just another long line of players who's been ruined by Arsene fraud Wenger. So yeah, he's been very, very poor. He's been poor literally since his return from injury. He's not had a good game. And like someone mentioned, he should be dropped for a holding.
Yeah, 100%.
He's not bringing nothing to us right now, Mustafi. Nothing. He's not winning the ball in the air. He's not commanding. He's not winning tackles. It's, again, these guys look like shadows of themselves.
For me, he's living on the reputation that he plays for the Germany squad. And people keep making excuses for that. And I keep saying, I don't give a damn what he does for Germany. I'll be real. I don't give a damn. I care about what he does for Arsenal. And stop making excuses for him. For me, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Just pick one game, any game. Can you tell me what game you would say, oh, Mustafi was amazing in? Don't worry, I'll wait. Because that doesn't happen. If he plays well, Koscielny's played better. I have always said that. I just don't think he reads the game that well. And I feel like he plays good with a partner, but that's about. And I feel like, for me, Rob Holding has, and I don't particularly have a massive affiliation with English players. So this, believe me, is not me kissing an English player's ass. I rate the young man. I think he potentially is so good. And I hope that we're not continuously just plugging Mustafi in there because we pay £35 million for him. Drop him. That would be strong management. Drop him because he's been shit. So drop him. For me, I blame him for at least 2 of those goals. So I'd give him a 2 out of 10. I don't know what about you.
Yeah. I fully agree with that. I mean, what does he deserve any score more? I don't remember seeing him make any interceptions, winning anything. He's just always reacting. Yeah. And that's the problem with Arsenal. We're not proactive anymore. We're just reacting to what people are doing to us. So, 2 out of 10, extremely poor. Really, really poor. So
what about Koscielny, his partner?
The guy people were saying were world class a while back, and I'm like, world what? World class, you're having a laugh, man. No, Koscielny has definitely lost the yard this season. Yeah. You know, he's getting pulled apart by everyone. And was never the strongest defender as well. So it's a problem for us. It's a problem for us. You know, again, and people used to rate this guy as so good. And I mean, he's okay, but if you look at teams we've had before, he would have been the number 2. So I mean, he's never been that great of a defender for me. He's literally just the best of a bad bunch. And I agree. And has had nothing to show for us this year again. Nothing.
And whenever we concede a penalty, you can bet your ass he's got something to do with it.
And this is it. I've never known a guy to concede so many penalties. So that alone should tell you he's not up there with the top defenders.
Exactly. I agree with that.
He also can have a 2 for yesterday because I don't remember him doing anything spectacular either. Yeah. So, I mean, You know, especially for those 2 goals, you expect your 2 centre backs to be strong and commanding. And again, this has actually been a hallmark of Wenger's legacy, that he's never had proper centre backs. Now, the last proper centre back we had was Sol Campbell.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
how long ago that was? I'm not even. You notice I'm not even including William Gallas in there.
Oh no, I hated Gallas. I know. I never rated him as a Chelsea player. Never mind when it came for Arsenal. So yeah, I agree with that.
We took
what
him
about
to exchange for Ashley Cole? Remember that?
Yeah. What about Monreal?
He actually didn't have an awful game, to be honest. He did his job and did again what was within his capability, but nothing special. Again, he can have.
I agree with that. I don't think he's that bad, and I've been highly critical of Monreal, but this game wasn't about pace. We just got out-muscled in the middle, and I don't particularly blame Monreal for that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then it's like when you look at Monreal again, another player where you have to look: is he Arsenal standard? Hell no. You know, the only time he was good was when, guess who was playing on the left wing? Alexis Sanchez. And this is what has happened to a lot of Arsenal players. Even it happened to players like Sturridge at Liverpool with Suarez. When you're playing with world-class players, they lift everybody around them.
Yeah.
So it's no coincidence, since Sanchez went down the middle, Monreal got exposed. Because Iwobi's not doing the backtrapping, Iwobi's not making the same movements as Alexis was. And we shouldn't expect him to, because, you know, Iwobi's Iwobi. He's a kid learning the craft of the game. You know what I mean? And Alexis is a World Cup player. Same with Coquelin. It's no coincidence that Coquelin's been absolute dog shit this year. Why? No Santi Cazorla. But when Coquelin first got called into the team, that's when Santi was dropped into that deep line playmaking position. And, you know, and Ozil was up top, and that's when we were firing on all cylinders. And again, Coquelin is not of Arsenal standard. I have to remind people, this guy came on loan from Charlton.
I agree.
Not even Championship, League One.
I agree.
In League One, able to make the step up to the Premiership. Piss off! You're having a laugh.
He doesn't have intelligence to play within our team, because I don't know if you watch Coquelin play, he should be our Kante. He should just not do anything but sit in front of that defense, play as many short passes as possible. Nothing extravagant, nothing Hollywood. Just play within your limits. Just do what you do, and then have other players around you pick up the slack. But he doesn't do that. Instead, he thinks he's, I don't know, he thinks he's like Iniesta, except the budget version. And constantly play passes that just go straight. And Coquelin disappoints me so much. But yeah.
And again, and when you look at, you know, Coquelin and you look at Kante, that just defines the gulf in class between Arsenal and Chelsea right now. Because Kante is the destroyer, Kante is the breaker up of plays, but yet Kante, as you saw the other day, can also score goals.
I agree.
Kante can also bring the ball out. So, you know, when you look at our players, and I'm not actually surprised when I look at Arsenal's demise right now, when you look at us compared to the teams around us. And even people can mock your Uniteds and Liverpools, at least they're trying. And that's what frustrates me. We are just on a slippery slope and not doing nothing about it. Whereas these teams are generally making every effort to get back to the top, while we make excuses.
And that's the thing. We can, I mean, prior to today, we can diss United as much as we like about being sick. Guess what? Look at the table now and see who's sick.
Well, guess what? If you noticed, you could go through all of my tweets for the last whole season. I never dissed them once.
Same.
All I kept saying was that we'll see how long you're dissing them for when we switch places.
Exactly.
You had these stupid guys on there, all these idiots, goading United fans about sixth place. I'm like, okay, you carry on. And they all did it. I never did it once because I'm like, you fools. I only sing when the game is done, when the season's done. And look, it's only March, you know. Still got April and May to go. Oh, man. It's just very, very stupid. That just sums up all those people who want Arsenal to stay. Singing and dancing in the beginning of the season when nothing is won. You don't get no trophies in October. It really annoyed me seeing how these guys were going on, and people like Claude were rightfully getting angry.
I agree.
Singing "We Are Top of the League." Why the fuck are you singing "We Are Top of the League"?
All right.
So that's the problem. Weak mentality and small club mentality. And the fans have got it now. Arsene Wenger has done that to the fans.
I agree.
Delivered weakness. But again, the team now is just, when you look at any team in the league in football, actually, a team is just a reflect image of their manager. And right now, Arsenal, not even right now, for the last 10 years, Arsenal have been a complete reflection of their manager.
Yeah.
Weak.
And
poor,
as I've always said, you can replace all the components in a car if you want. If you're still getting into accidents, you might want to look at the driver.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Exactly.
So, all right. What would you give Ox and Xhaka out of 10? I love Ox in the middle, but I thought he had a poor game yesterday. What do you reckon?
Again, I'd be the same, but again, at least he was driving forward and trying to do his thing. So,
yeah,
I'd give him a 6. I mean, he's not getting a 7 because he didn't do well. He's not getting a 5 because he wasn't as bad as the other. So I'd give him a 6.
I'd be a bit more harsher, but I'd give him a 5 personally. But yeah, I felt like too many passes went astray. I do hear what you're saying. For sheer effort, he gets a 5 from me. With Ox, I'm a little bit more forgiving because I think up until yesterday, he's been one of our best players for the last couple of months, quite frankly. So I'm not upset with it. Plus, he did play in a slightly different position. He played as a number 10 as opposed to a number 8. And I think a number 8 suits him better. So, yeah. And as for Xhaka?
Well, he gets a 5 too. I mean, forgot he was there, to be honest. Didn't see him do anything. And again, a lot of people are saying, boy, they're starting to question that transfer fee now. That's the problem with his performances now. And a couple of shots went astray. And I was like, boy, everything is just off. We just look so off right now. So off right now. It's unbelievable. It's scary.
Yeah, it is. It's terrifying. It really is. What about Welsh maestro Ramsey?
Welsh maestro. Wow.
I'm trying to sell it. I can't stand him personally. He's the player that winds me up the most, as to why Wenger continues to start him. But what do you think about his overall performance yesterday? I'll be honest.
Yeah, go for it.
In the first half, I didn't think he was that bad. And then he began to fade, and then typical Ramsey came out where he just was more or less, it was like he weren't there in the end.
Yes.
What do you think?
Again, I totally echo what you said. He was okay in the first half, not doing anything wrong, but not doing anything spectacular, just playing within his lane.
Yeah.
But then come the second half, some of those crosses, some of them shots, never taking that risk enough to get on the end of a cross when it wasn't him. So again, he gets a 3 too. There was nothing special about him yesterday. There was nothing special about anyone yesterday. It's like they're just, it was almost like, we've got to go out and play a match today.
Yeah.
There was nothing about them yesterday. Nothing
about them. A paycheck today. Well, not even earn. Well, contractually we should be playing this match, so I guess we got to be on the pitch. That was basically what happened yesterday.
Yes. So, very, very poor, man. But typical Ramsey, and another one who just hasn't kicked on under Wenger. Another one of many. And again, who's that to blame? That's not the player. It's down to the coach. He's meant to develop the players.
Yeah.
He's in that line of Walcott, Wilshere, of course, Oxlade, Coughlin. This is what I'm saying. The buck has to stop with Wenger. He bought these players. He's trained these players. Everything. So it's a major, major problem. He just has to. He has to go. He has to go.
What about Theo?
Theo was he playing? Running into dead ends. Had a new haircut, I saw. That was nice. His new haircut. That was about it. But as for the football, he was anonymous. He gets a 1. I don't know what you think. Absolutely anonymous.
Yeah, I wouldn't give him much more than a 2, to be honest, because for someone who was supposedly so angry that Gareth Southgate had the audacity to leave him out when he was on form. A weird decision to leave him out, but you would have thought that would motivate him to say, you know what, cool, I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna prove to you that you're an idiot.
Yes.
And all he did was prove Southgate correct. And that's the thing. People think I'm harsh with Theo. I'm just like with Theo. I can take it or leave it, because when he's good, he's very, very good. But when he's bad, he's what he is yesterday.
Yeah. Which is just nothing. What Theo is like.
He's 28 years old. He's 28 years old, and people are still talking about this potential.
Potential is that madness. Absolute madness. And this is the problem. Too many players, all of the players I just mentioned, all of the England lot, and Aaron Ramsey included, did not fulfill the potential they were meant to under Wenger. But then someone who did, Gareth Bale. This is what these guys should have been like. At the end of the day, they all had way more talent than Gareth Bale did at the same stages of their career.
Agreed.
It's Gareth Bale who went for the stars at Real Madrid now. So that tells you all you need to know. All of the problems come back to one guy every single time. And he just needs to piss off now. Like, piss off now, not tomorrow, not in an hour. He needs to go now.
All right, 2 more. Alexis Sanchez on that left hand. Now, people are split on his performance yesterday, which surprises me. I actually thought he played well up until he got injured. But some people say, he didn't do much. He only scored and that was it. What's your opinion on his performance yesterday?
Again, he's buzzing around. He was working hard. I thought he was okay until his injury. But again, you're only as good as the service you get. And he was having to chase back and go get the ball. So, as you did for Ox earlier, I have to give Sanchez a 5 for his sheer hard work and persistence. Maybe 5.5, including the goal, because he took it so well. But other than that, and then coming off injured, I can't give him more than that, I'm afraid. But he was okay. He was his usual self, moving the ball around, trying to make things work. But he can't do it all alone. That's why it's a team sport. That's why there's 11 out there. And, you know what I mean? There's only so much he can do. And then when he came off, and then we crumbled, as always, that is just the signs of to come for next season if Wenger's still there. Mid-table or worse. Yeah. And there'll be people still making excuses for him when we're lying in 14th next season after Christmas. And people will be like, how did this happen? And they'll be still making excuses for Wenger. I tell you.
It's like a cult.
Yes.
Because the thing is that I can understand in a way people's point of view when people say, oh, well, when Arsenal lose a game, people overreact, people do this, people do that. All right. But I don't know about you. I'm pretty sure you have. I know I have, and I'm a pure Wenger out. There have been times this season I praise Wenger when I can see that tactically he's got it correct, or he's made a right decision, or we've had a positive result. Namely Chelsea. If anyone doubts me, please go and watch my Chelsea review. I was full of praise for Wenger.
Yeah.
What I don't understand about these Wenger in people is, why can't you be Wenger in and still criticize Wenger?
Exactly.
Why is that disrespect?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is voicing your opinion about something that you don't agree with? Clearly, you can't agree with it because Arsenal have lost. So that surely there must be something that you believe that someone has done in that team incorrectly. It's like this unbelievable fear to criticize Wenger because if they do that, that's disrespect. Not where I come from.
Yeah. Not even fear or disrespect. I think out of pride, and they're the ones with the agenda.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones who just...
That to me is more unreasonable than people who, I mean, people might call it flip-flopping. No, if I can see something is positive to you, if I can see something is negative, I'm obviously going to criticize you. This is what logical human beings do. Logical human beings don't defend something no matter what happens, no matter what free fall we go into, no matter what. How can we lose to West Brom and people say, "Oh, well, why are we surprised?"
Yes.
We should be bashing West Brom. We should be smacking West Brom. I don't care if they're playing well.
Yeah, exactly. That is how low we've become. That's the Arsenal of today now, because of this guy. We can go to a West Brom team and expect to lose. Yeah? And this is the guy who's meant to take us forward. The guy's meant to deliver us the league and the Champions League in the next season. It's just laughable how these guys think this guy can do anything for this club apart from fuck off. That's the only thing that pisses... Oh, it's mad. It's actually madness. Yeah, it's just scary. And like Claude said earlier, where's the cut-off point? Where's the cut-off point? Where is the time where people say enough is enough? And they've shown over and over again there isn't one.
Well,
because you know what I mean? For most people,
the board have asked him in this 2-week international break period, we must have an answer from you. Hence why Wenger has now come out and said, I'll give you an answer soon. Which to me, I just think is such an arrogant response. You know, at this point, even if you're going to stay, have the decency to just come out and just tell everybody, look, I know I can make changes to this club. I won't be happy with it. But at least as a fan, I know what the fuck is happening. The players know what the fuck is happening. And we can at least begin to at least deal with it.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's not saying anything is the highest form of arrogance that I've ever seen.
And that sums him up perfectly. He's arrogant. He's not for the club. He's for himself and always has been. It's always been about him. And now all of that's just coming out now. So, you know what I mean? The idea that he's even been given a choice by the board is laughable and ridiculous. How the hell can your superiors ask you when you want to leave or what you want to do? You know what I mean? The decision should be taken out of his hands. Again, only at Arsenal. You know, something really big happened at Arsenal when David Dean was ousted out and Usmanov was ousted out and we moved to the Emirates. And we didn't realise what it was until now. And that is the problem. You know, and until we go back to that schism or change what's happened, we are up shit creek. And it is not going to improve. It's not going to improve. It's for scary times. And if we think now is bad in free fall and the guy stays on, like I said, next season, bottom half of the table. The only thing that won't happen to us, I don't think we'll get that bad, is relegation. I don't think we'll get relegated. But I do think we'll get... But then again, it's possible. Sanchez goes.
I think Sanchez is off.
Because think, if Leicester can go from winning the league to almost going into relegation zone with Ranieri in charge, then why not us? And we've not even won the league. We've not even won it.
You know, I was highly critical of Leicester's decision to sack Ranieri. You know, when you really think about it and you look at our situation, my stance has changed a little bit. For the simple reason that whilst I still think it's horrible that the players just decided, fuck it, they're not going to play. They're not going to play for the club because of Ranieri. On the other hand, the club were like, you know what? Regardless of whether you think the players are right or wrong, clearly they're not responding to this man. Let's make a ruthless decision.
That's it.
Cut the arm off to protect the body.
Yes.
You know, they made a really difficult decision, a decision which they knew they were going to get a lot of heat from. And, and I'm not gonna lie, I was that person that was spitting that fire. But it's only when you can only compare it to your situation. And when you're in a situation like we are, we're almost handcuffed by this manager.
Yes.
It's the most crazy situation to be in, that we're handcuffed by a manager who decides when he comes, when he goes.
When he goes.
And at least that board were man enough to say, you know what, enough is enough.
Yes.
Sorry, Ranieri, you've been fantastic for us. We'll be always forever grateful.
Yes.
You are considered a legend at this club, but it's time to go.
Yes.
How I wish someone would say that to Wenger. How I wish.
It's not going to happen. They've made that clear. Even with what's going on, they said, you know what, have another 2 years. And trust me, if we didn't kick up a fuss, it would have been 4 years.
It would have been. It would have been. It honestly would have been. They'd do a Frankenstein and drag the man out of his grave if it was possible.
Yeah. We think it's a joke, but that's the only way the guy's going to go. If something that happens, which is bad. I don't want to wish anything bad on anyone, but he's not going anywhere. And that's the problem. It stems from the board. But as was said earlier, to get the board out, first you've got to get him out.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere. So it's a dire state of affairs at Arsenal, and it's all our own doing. No one else. Because when I look at the other teams, I look at the Chelseas, Liverpools, the Cities, they're only doing what they're meant to be doing. And none of them are even doing it even really well, which makes it even more frustrating. If we were generally beaten by better teams, I'd get it, but we're not. We lose matches. Okay. We don't get beaten, we lose. We throw them away.
All right, well, let's wrap it up. Just one more mark to give, and that's Danny Welbeck. What would you give him out of 10 yesterday?
Again, Danny looked out of sorts, and
you did. You really did. I agree with that.
And then to make it worse, when I saw Danny there, I'm like, so is this what Danny Welbeck was held back for? Is this why he didn't play against Munich? Is this why he didn't play all those big matches we had when we needed him? Yeah. The mind boggles. The mind really boggles. So I just thought, another player who's going to just waste under Wenger. A good player. Again, a player who was fantastic, guess what? When he first signed for us.
Yeah.
Doing all the dog's work down that left-hand side, down the right-hand side. And now just not doing anything. So, yeah, Danny didn't have a good game. Danny gets a 4.
Yeah, I agree with the 4.
Did nothing.
I agree with the 4.
You know what I mean? Really, really poor. No one holds their head up after that game.
It's not every day that I'm thankful for an international break, but my gosh, I'm thankful for this one.
But we had a break recently. It didn't do anything.
Oh, no, not for them. Just for me to stop watching this crap. Not for them. I'm so thankful for this international break. My gosh, just to think about something that's not Arsenal and moaning and bitching about Arsenal and their demise.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know when we're going to... And then, this is the thing. We come back and guess who our game is? Man City. We're going to get smoked. Aguero's going to run us ragged.
Aguero and De Bruyne.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know.
What we need. Yeah, but this season's a write-off. The season's a write-off. This is our transition time. But that was an excuse we used to hear a couple of seasons ago. We were in transition. We've been in transition for 10 years, my friend. 10 years of transition. Arsene Wenger, for me, the guy's ruined his legacy. I think fuck what he did before. All of those Invincibles, he didn't do none of that shit. That was the players. After I watched that Sol Campbell interview, that interview opened a whole bag of worms about Arsene Wenger and his style of management. And basically, the guy just used to buy players and just say, go out and play. That's it. That's all he said. Go and express yourself. And he still hasn't changed. So then why am I giving him credit for that? None at all. Even Henri, they've all said it. When Henri talks about the difference between him and Guardiola. And then to make me even hate Wenger even more, to think of all the good coaches we've missed out because of that bastard won't leave.
All right. So let me ask you this as almost like a final wrap-up. In terms of how the season ends and what realistically we could hope for as a best possible result. Let's say next week, Wenger comes out and he announces he's leaving end of the season.
Hallelujah! I'm having a party for everyone.
What do you think is our best possible kind of finish to the season that we could hope for?
Just to finish as high as possible. Because again, all these people who say they want top 4, it's pointless. You've seen what happens when we go in the Champions League. We're not there to win it. We're there to participate. Dare I say it? So, you know, all this top 4 stuff is bollocks. And people say, oh, you can't get top players. Doesn't work for Chelsea. Doesn't work for Man United. Doesn't work for Liverpool. Klopp went to Liverpool where they were. Mourinho went to United where they were. You know, Ibrahimovic and Pogba still signed for United. Kante still signed for Chelsea. So all of this, you know, you must finish in top 4 is all bollocks. That's all Wenger's bullshit. Arsenal are a big club. They're an attractive club. And if that bastard ain't there, people are going to want to sign for us. They just want to know the club's going forward. You know, people don't want to come now because it's always, from now until Wenger goes, it's going to be like this. So now people don't want to come. Players aren't going to want to come because they'll be like, how long am I going to be playing for this coach for? Will he last the 1 year or the 2 years, or will the fans hound him out beforehand? And then again, you can be out of favour again. So that's why it's right what you were saying. He's holding the whole club to hostage because of his fucking arrogance and his greed. Can't stand him. Can't stand him, and he's nothing to me. He's dead to me. Fuck everything he's done.
Wow.
You know, all of this bullshit about got to give him respect and he's got to go out nicely. He made his choice. It wasn't us who did this. If he left gracefully, he wouldn't need to be pushed out.
Sure.
He's like an unwanted guest. Leave.
Hell,
Just
if he even told us a couple of months ago, this will be the last season. Do you know what?
We'll be having this conversation.
People would, even if we were still losing these games, at least people would be able to see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly.
And unite behind him. It's this not knowing shit, and all of us have this fear that, oh no, he's going to sign this 2-year contract, isn't he? Oh no, he's
going to sign.
Oh no, and that's what none of us as a fan base can get behind. There would be respect there if he respected us.
He's never respected the fans. He made that very clear. He only has contempt for the fans. We're an unimportant part of the club, according to him and the board, and that's the problem. That's why he has no respect from me, because he went with this new board. Everyone who's talking about the board, this, board, that, it was Wenger who allowed all of this to happen. He could have easily walked out with Dean and said, fine, I don't want no part of it, like a lot of the people did. But he was happy to go along with it. And in my opinion, he's probably a massive shareholder as well. That's what people don't know. That's why he can't be moved, because he owns part of the club. There's no way he's getting paid 8 mil like that, and that he hasn't invested that money in the club. That's why he shifted.
It wouldn't surprise me at this point. It would not surprise me.
He definitely owns part of the club, for sure, because he spends the money like it's his own.
Yeah.
And the power he wields is like somebody who has his fingers in more than the pies that we're open to. It will all come out in the future. Like even you didn't mention the planes.
I've never thought about it like that before, but you make a very valid point. Yeah, it's true.
It's obvious he's a shareholder. I wasn't born yesterday. Even if they've got it in other people's names, it's his fucking money. He's a shareholder. And look how embarrassing the club is to pay for that plane to fly over saying in Wenger we trust. What bastards they are to do that. They're bastards.
Yeah.
I can't stand them.
Yeah, I agree.
They've literally they're literally saying to the fans, they're putting their fingers up at all the fans. The club are really vindictive and bad, and that's from top to bottom. Top to bottom. So I saw a tweet that that dickhead Keswick guy, one of his guys paid for the plane. That's why the plane came from nowhere, because even none of these stupid Wenger lovers came out and said they did it or whatever. You noticed that? Whereas everybody knew who did the Wenger outplay, because it was genuine. It's
true. It's true. All right.
Bollocks.
Let's wrap this up, because I'm depressed as up as it is about Arsenal. But let these 40 plus live listeners who are watching us at the moment, let them know where they can find you on Twitter and all that.
So if you want to get me on Twitter for happy Arsenal talk, you can find me Henry Brobbey, HenryBrobbey. And I'm sure Colossal Hill put the link up anyway.
Yep, it's in the description as we speak. So just look below, it'll be in the description box. As will my Twitter. You can follow me at Colossal Chig, CHIG. And also, if you're listening to me for the first time, hit that subscribe button. You'll get much more content out of me soon. All right, 2-week break now, so thank God for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Arsenal are slowly exhausting me. I don't know what else to say. All right, people. Thank you, Henry, for joining me, and thank you guys for joining me.
Man.
And catch you on the other side. Take care.
Goodbye, everyone.